Good morning, Rydell Skates. This is Alice. How may I direct your call?
Rydell has been creating ice skates and roller skates in Red Wing, Minnesota for over 70 years.
The history of the company was started back in 1945 by my grandparents, Paul and Soph Rydell.
At the time, Paul Riedell was an employee of the Red Wing Shoe Company who had a passion and a vision.
He was an amazing man. He had so many talents, anything from a machinist to a skater to a footwear manufacturer. And he just had such a great passion. He knew this would work.
And work it did. Today, Rydell Skates is run by Paul's 4 grandsons, and it is a 4-generation company. Riedell has been one of the world's premier figure skate manufacturers going back to the 1940s.
Tell me about the types of skates you make, the diversity, the volume of skates that you create here.
Well, the types of skates that we make currently right now are girls and ladies, boys and men's ice figure skates, and also a complete line of roller skates.
The process of skate making is nothing short of amazing, and some of these skates are made up of over 100 components. It takes an army of artisans to construct the Rydell skate, and it all starts with a cow.
So if somebody's going to find a pair of figure skates, they're going to start with a fabric like this. This is leather.
That's correct. It's cowhide, yes. Now we come in a variety of different colors. This particular style of boot that we're going to build is going to be either ladies white, men's black, or sometimes even a show skater.
And from here, it's on to the cutting process.
So what Cindy's doing here is cutting out pieces with a blade that looks something like this to make a piece like this.
Correct. What she's using is called a cutting die. It's going to have a specific design pattern to it to allow for the proper size to make a certain type of skate that we have. For instance, this die here is going to have a cutting edge on both sides, so when you stamp it out this way, it's going to be one side of the skate. You stamp it out this way, it'll be the opposite side of the skate. So what Cindy has to do is actually, for a pair of skates, she'll have to make 4 cuts, which are referred to as quarters. To our benefit, you know, we've got employees here that are second to none. They are the lifeblood of our company. They're what makes our brand what it is.
So this area is where we saw the pieces being, for the pieces that were cut earlier, they kind of come over to here, then they become the components that will eventually be stitched together to be a part of a skate.
That's right. Actually, now we're going to bring most of the components that make the entire skate together. For instance, here you've got your uppers. This is the linings. The uppers, of course, remember we cut from over there. You've got some reinforcement pieces that are going to give the skate stability and durability and strength.
Okay.
Additional reinforcement that does the same thing, and it's going to be in a little bit different design. Ankle padding and Achilles tendon padding.
Whoever thought skate making was so complex? There is so much going on. Stitching, gluing pieces together, and more stitching. These are true craftsmen.
One thing I noticed throughout the shop is that there are some really what appear to be antique-looking machines. Tell me, I think you mentioned something earlier about machinists that you have to keep on staff just to keep these machines running, because you can't just replace something of this quality.
This old Singer, this is probably about a 60-year-old machine, and it still works to this day and does exactly what we need it to do.
These craftsmen and women are very committed to their jobs. The average length of service is over 20 years, including Alice Fitchin, who started working here over 50 years ago. I had to ask her how skates have changed since then.
Back when I started, the figure boots they'd be 8 to 9 inches tall in height, and throughout the years, we've been adding, the customers or skaters have been asking for more padding, more cushion, whatever. Now you pick up a shoe and it feels almost as hard as a rock.
So far the skate has been fit this way, or tightened into place this way on the last.
Yep.
The last is that form that kind of gives us the shape. Now you got to get them from this side.
It is in this area where the skate really starts to take shape.
But now we're going to press it, and then this is going to be all ground flat, so it's got a nice smooth finish and a nice flat surface to it.
Once the bottom is nice and smooth, it's time to turn up the heat. With the boot now nice and hot, the sole area is attached and firmly pressed into place.
That looks like a lot of pounds of pressure when that sole, that heel is being attached to the boot.
Actually, it is quite a bit of pressure. It's about 90 pounds per square inch.
Rydell figure skates appeal to all ages of skaters across the globe. This skate is embraced by some of the best skaters in the world, the ones who shine every 4 years at the Olympic Games.
We've been able to capture those skaters such as a Johnny Weir, Kurt Browning, Jamie Saleh, who is an Olympic gold medalist.
One skater Riedell is very excited about is a young Russian potential superstar.
The Russian figure skater you're speaking of is Elena Radionova. Elena is a 16-year-old phenom out of Russia. She's just an awesome, awesome skater. She's been with us since she started skating, back when she was about 7 or 8 years old.
Next, the heel seals the deal by being sanded down. The boot is laced and it is on to quality control.
This is kind of the last spot before these things go out the door, right? I see that they're being bagged up and she's inspecting them to make sure everything was done right.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is going to be the final process step before we say that it's going to be ready to go into a box and be ready for sale.
Many people purchase their own blades, but Riedell also includes their own blades in many of their styles of skates. After this, it's into the big blue box.
So this is pretty much the end of the process. From here, your skates, now that we know, they go all over the world.
They do. This is our finished goods inventory. The orders that we receive will be processed through our shipping department, and you're right, we ship them all over the world.
After over 100 steps by dozens of craftsmen and artisans, it is no wonder why this is such a premium product, produced in a state where skating is second nature. No doubt Riedell is definitely on the cutting edge.
Life to the Max is brought to you by Life Touch, photography for a lifetime.